ready? We'll open it up.
15 points given up in the first half. Why was your defense so successful and efficient?
I think, we worked hard at trying to make sure we're in the right position. I think our guys were really on point. They run their base offense is something that is pretty popular right now. A lot of teams are running it, and we spent a lot of time on it the last couple days and make sure that we were really understanding, the reads that we need to make. We call it kind of a wheel action, and so you have to, on one hand, it can come and they can get a lot of curls and get in the paint. On the other hand, they can come off fade screens and turn corners and get quick ball screens. They got one or two early in the game coming off a fade and just a quick little pocket pass that they're very effective at. But we just tried to really be on point and be in great position. Maybe didn't block out quite as well as would have liked to the first half, and maybe our post defense wasn't as strong as it has been. But the bulk of what we were trying to accomplish, I thought we really did a good job of that.
Which is a bigger deal to you when you look at a fairly lopsided win, at least on paper, the defense or the 22-5 assist to turnover ratio?
I'd say first is defense, because the defense most of the time doesn't lie. The defense, if you're putting up great defensive numbers, maybe a team just misses a lot of wide open shots, but not normally over 40 minutes. They might miss for a while, but a 40-minute game is a long game. There's a lot of possessions, and if you're making people take guarded shots, usually it shows up in a great field goal percentage defense. On the other hand, assists sometimes, it's always great, and I love it when 22-5 is amazing. But it also depends on the way a team chooses to play you. I've said this a lot before. Say it again. You're going to get. They zoned us a good amount, and a lot of times against the zone, you don't dribble into shots. You usually get shots off a catch in some form. Either it's a kick out for a three, or we ran some lob plays, or you get a little high-low, and so there's kind of more opportunities for straight assists in a zone. But still, having said that, I've seen a lot of teams play against the zone not get very many assists because they're not, maybe really sharing it, or maybe not great passers. But love both of them, but always for me starting with field goal percentage defenses and rebounding.
What was so important, or what do you think you guys did really well in kind of taking Rima and Purvis out of the game, both ends of the floor for a lot of it when they were in?
Brima, we got a little lucky with fouls, honestly. I think he played 15 minutes, and I think that was a big factor. I think he's that I can remember the best shot blocker we've played against in the last several years. I've got a lot of respect for him. He seems like a great kid. I don't know him. I just like watching him, and I've seen him do some amazing things on film where he'll go block one and then block another one, 2 seconds later, and just own 8 feet. So I have a lot of respect for him. It's something that we definitely did not want to, go in there, what I call it, just layup turnovers, where you try to shoot a layup over a guy. It's just, he's got no chance. So he's a big factor, and we were fortunate. We got him in some fouls, a little bit by design, but there's some luck, There really is. Purvis has been a guy that I want to say his 2 career highs are against us. I think he had 29 and 28. I think those are his career highs. So I know he salivates anytime he sees us. This is the same guy that got 29 and 28. No different. He's a senior now. And for him to go 0 for 4 just tells you that, there's got to be some good things going on the defensive end collectively.
When you go into the locker room at halftime, having given up only 15 points and Connecticut shooting only 21%, do you and your staff even mention defense? What kind of adjustments did you make at the intermission?
Yes, I talked more about defense than offense the second half, and the reason is because I always worry, and it's usually the case, and I don't think it started out. I don't think it's. If I remember the second half clearly, it didn't really happen this time. But so many times you've seen it. You've seen it here in this year. A big halftime lead. We come out a little flat defensively. The other team just starts scoring at will, and then it becomes a trading baskets. And that just worries me. I hate the big halftime leads because what does it do? It changes the psychology of the game. It makes your team get a little complacent and feel like it's, not as hard as they thought 20 minutes earlier when the game started. And the other team starts getting more aggressive because they have to. I mean, they have no choice. They're going to start getting in a whole other aggressive mentality. I've seen it a million times. So we spent most of the time, believe it or not, talking about defense, and we weren't too bad, I think, at the beginning, and then we got a little lax for sure. But our numbers the first half offensively were pretty darn good. Could have been better. I thought we missed some really good shots. I thought we were getting about whatever we wanted. We didn't turn the ball over much. A lot of things were going well for us, and so I just really talked mostly on defense, and they hung 34 on us the second half, so I don't know how much good it did.
What was your reaction when Semi got hurt, and what did you learn about his hand? I know he came back in, but...
Yeah, well, what I learned is that he can shoot with whatever happened to him, because he came right back in firing. And I'm telling you, there was no better news for me than to see that he can catch it and he can shoot it, and he did it more than once. I think he'll be fine. I just think he pulled it a little bit, so I'm pretty optimistic for him. Jure wasn't feeling great today. I think he'll be feeling much better tomorrow. But we got tough guys. We got resilient, physically tough and emotionally, mentally tough. You look at what these guys have been through over the last several years, and emotionally, and they just play right through it. And then physically, we've had a number of guys battle through things this year. They know we're shorthanded, and they're tough. And I really appreciate it. I don't want guys playing injured. Don't ever want to do that. I don't want to risk injury. But when they're not injured, but they're hurting, they just play through it. And I will tell you this: there's a lot of guys in college basketball in January, whatever it is, on January 19th, that are out there playing hurting. They're not injured, but their bodies are beat up. This is a tough sport. You're playing a lot of games, a lot of contact, a lot of falling on the floor, a lot of joint pain, and it takes a lot of mental toughness. And I respect our guys because, geez, at the half, I think we had 3 guys on it that looked like they had 20 minutes, hadn't even taken them out. I thought I remember taking some of them out, but maybe I didn't take them out long enough not to count it as a minute. I'm taking them out for seconds. They don't count seconds on the sheet. We need to have seconds to show that we actually rested some of these guys. But I'll ask them late, how you feeling? It's like they don't want to come out. They've learned to play, these kind of minutes, and again, I respect it very, very much.
What was it like having Coach Brown back in the building?
That's great. It's great. Hadn't seen him in a while, and very happy to see him. And I know I'll see him tomorrow, and maybe we'll get to hang out tomorrow night. So that was great.
What about the short turnaround, having to come back and play this in 2 days?
Well, I'll tell you, number one, I'm glad Houston has the same turnaround we do, or I'd be bitching and moaning because it's hard. You're talking about playing Connecticut and Houston back to back with a day rest. Of course, Houston, if I'm not mistaken, has Memphis tonight, right? Memphis at home. Is that right? Yeah. They play tonight, Memphis, and then they have the same thing. They got to travel here. So we both have it hard. Do I wish we had another day? Absolutely, I do, but we don't. So it's not an excuse. I can tell you tomorrow will probably be the easiest practice of the year, without a doubt. It will require film and maybe 5 minutes of a sweat, and that's about it, because we just got to make sure that we're recovered. But I always like more time to prepare. I just, I love having at least 2 days where we can sink our teeth into it a little bit deeper. This time, it won't be the kind of preparation that we're used to, but that's, that's college basketball too. Sometimes the schedule's just going to swing a little bit on you.
So what's Larry doing, and what was his message to you, if any, and how did he analyze the team?
Oh, we didn't get into that. We were just saying hi and saying great, and And no, we didn't get into all that. I'm sure maybe tomorrow we will, but we've been in touch. I just haven't seen him in a while. So his kids go to school here, so he's bringing them back, and I think he'll be here for, I'm not exactly sure how long, but we didn't go into that part of things. I just it's more about the friendship. I'm sure tomorrow he'll probably have a thing or two to say, which would be great.
Anything else? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.